gentlemen, what's going on? Welcome to episode 152 of the It's Obvious Gaming podcast. I'm your host, Preston Pugh, and I'm joined by my two best friends, Garrett Drake.
Hello.
And Jacob Alka. How you guys doing?
I'm fine.
That's good.
I'm in a great mood.
Yeah.
I don't have a particular reason why.
Well, you're beautiful, Jacob,
Thank you.
Your beauty matches that of the day here in Atlanta, Georgia. It is unbelievably gorgeous outside. There's not a cloud in the sky. The sun is shining brightly. The wind's rustling through the trees. It's like I've been stuck in Atlanta for so long now that when I leave the grime and rot and filth of the city,
It's not that bad.
And I sit in my backyard and just the wind blowing, and there's like beautiful, colorful flowers. There's not weird people walking around. It's just the wind blowing. I was like, this is nature, and this is God's country.
I couldn't do what you're doing. I hate Atlanta so much.
I've grown to enjoy parts of it. Now the west side can go burn in hell. I'm glad that it burned to the ground back in the past. It can stay that way for all I care. I mean, granted, there's a few cool spots on the west side. A lot of good restaurants over there, but the east side is much more peaceful. Granted, you still have your lunatics running around the streets. But for the most part, it's much more peaceful than the west side.
The older I've grown, the more a problem has arisen that I have. I'm not claustrophobic. I can be in tight spaces. I can get in elevators. I'm not claustrophobic, but if I'm around a ton of people, just especially people that aren't really respecting boundaries and just brushing past each other, for instance, like
a sporting event.
I'm better with that just because I'm happy to be there. But if, for instance, going Christmas shopping in a mall or Target with just a billion people around you, just running around and stuff, just kind of like it would be at a busy time in Atlanta, it stresses me out, dude. I have so much like anxiety being around that many people just in that type of environment. So
do you feel that way in traffic?
Yeah, I do.
I hate traffic.
Yeah, traffic ignites a fire inside of me that just lies dormant when I'm not there.
Especially when you realize what the problem was. There's like someone pulled over on the side of the road, and that's what's causing traffic for miles.
Dude, when I see a wreck, you should hear the things I scream.
Oh yeah,
me too, man.
Stare at them and start shouting things.
It's like
I want to get out of my car and like hit their car with a baseball bat and then keep moving.
One thing I always say is I'm like thanks a lot, you caused this.
Yeah,
especially the road I take home, 316. It's literally a straight road. It is perfectly straight. It's as simple as a road as physically possible, and there's people rear-ending each other on that road. I'm like, how does this happen? Like, you should have your license revoked and just light your car on fire when it's on the side of the road. It's so annoying.
The only wreck in recent years that almost warranted bad traffic was when I was on 575 one time, and I passed by a truck who had ripped through like the metal wall. It was upside down and torn in half, and the wall looked like Godzilla had gone through it. I was like, well, that kind of makes sense. But other than that, it's usually just fender.
And granted, I know that does sound a little douchey because I know some wrecks are just. I know wrecks happen, but. Just when you're in the moment, you're just so mad at it. But one of the things that really annoys me a ton about wrecks is people that get in these fender benders and they just stop in the middle of the road and they get out and talk. I'm like, get off to the side. Do you understand what you're causing?
It's so like when Mr. Loomis cut me off and I slammed into the side of him. He walked up. He's like, I was like, we need to get out. We were in the middle of the intersection. I'm like, I'm going to go park at the Wendy's and we'll call the police and deal with the situation. He, like an idiot, just left his car in the intersection, and I went up to the Wendy's off the street. Yeah. And my car, the front end of my bumper or hood of my car is hanging off, and it like drags all the way up the road, and I park at Wendy's. And I told you that bounty hunter shows up, like the local county bounty hunter. He's like an ant. Like, I didn't need like a telescope to see him, but I see this tiny little man in the intersection down the hill, like looking in all directions, and Mr. Loomis just points up to the Wendy's. The guy, like, and fat guy too, cowboy boots and everything, just runs up the hill as fast as he can and confronted me. He was a bounty hunter. He's like, "You trying to flee the scene, boy?" I was like, "No, I'm standing here." It's like, or he's like, I can't remember his name.
Are you
like,
dog?
I can't. Yeah, are you dog, sir? I can't remember his name. He's like, I'm a local bounty hunter, just making sure the situation's under control. We're waiting on the police to arrive. I was like, that's great. I called him. So At least the man
I
was
would have been such
passionate
a
about
smart ass
his.
to that guy.
Yeah. At least the man
No
was
joke.
passionate about his role as a bounty hunter. So,
It's like, oh, really? Are the police coming? Or did you help with that?
dude, Zach and I were so bored in community college. There were so many things we considered doing just to.
Dude, I've thought about that one time. Sitting in traffic, you'll see like a billboard.
Yeah.
A guy's wanted for like 15 grand.
Mhm.
Like, man, just
Imagine if you found this
find
guy.
this guy.
Just
I could
tackle him and handcuff him.
take off work for a couple months.
Yeah.
Be good to go.
So we considered being bounty hunters, but you had to go through this weird process with Forsyth County to do it, and we were just too lazy. And we wanted to be security guards at the outlet mall in Dawsonville, and you had to have like 5 years experience or something.
What, did you guys stay up late?
Experience doing what?
Being a security guard.
So it's the never-ending loop of not being able to get a job because you
Right.
can't get experience at a job because you need experience
Exactly.
for that job.
Yeah. So imagine if you start. I almost considered saying that I was safety patrol in elementary school. That's technically a
That would have
security
done
guard.
it. Yeah.
I was telling Casey the other day, this is so funny. That's when I realized that I was attracted to women officially. Because I always had a crush on girls and like kindergarten even. But I think I told you the story. Is that really cute girl when we were in 5th grade that we I
And
think
in
we both,
safety patrol, I know
Yeah.
exactly who you're talking about.
yeah, I don't remember her name, but we both thought she was really cute.
Yeah.
And she, for some reason, tackled me one morning and was like on top of me,
Oh, yeah.
tickling me, and I was
Yeah.
like,
Oh yeah.
I'm into this. And from that day forward, I knew I was attracted to women. But and it was weird. Even as a child, it wasn't like a sexual thing. But I remember her being on me, and I was like, I think in another decade,
I think
I'm
I'm
gonna
okay with
enjoy
this.
this even more. So I was talking to Casey about something like about safety patrol in general, and that sparked in my mind. I was like, by the way, the reason I'm attracted to you is because I was originally attracted to this girl. So that's always nice to
Wow.
hear when you're in a relationship. So
Yeah, exactly. I begged my 5th grade teacher or was it my 4th? It was my 4th grade teacher to give me the recommendation for safety patrol,
Mhm.
and I don't remember if she did or not. End of the day, I didn't get into safety patrol, and
Yeah.
I was pretty pissed off.
I pulled the mom card on that one. I was
Dude, I had a connection in everything. My dad was in the school system. He knew
Mhm.
the assistant principal, and I still couldn't wiggle my way in there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but thankfully, my teacher was very sympathetic for me because I cried to my mother that my two of my closest friends got the recommendation, one of which didn't even care about it, and which made me even more upset that he got it and didn't even want it. So I went home and told my mom how upset I was that I didn't get the letter, and my mom called and like, Garrett's really upset, and he wants to be on the safety patrol. My teacher's like, I'll see what I can do. 2 weeks later, I was on safety patrol.
wow.
Went up in the ranks, became a lieutenant. They took it seriously there, man. I had the cool neon vest, and I had all the badges were metallic. Like you could throw it at someone's head and probably split their eye open. But I was a lieutenant. It was green, and then the sergeant was red.
Mm-hmm.
It looked really. I felt very cool too.
Still
So-
jealous to this day.
Yeah,
That's a
It
position
should
of
be.
power.
It was, yeah.
It
Beat
means
kids with my
something.
baton if they wouldn't walk. Excuse me, sir. Walk, walk. And run up and just break their legs with your baton. So it was really, really satisfying. Great days in elementary school being on safety patrol. What are some of you? I remember seeing the F word for the first time in elementary school. Have I told you that story?
No.
Okay, this is
Is it a
hilarious.
good story?
There was a kid in my class named Inches. You remember who Inches was, Preston?
Do you know his real name?
I can't remember his
You
real
guys
name.
nicknamed a
People
guy
called him
Inches?
people called him Inches because he was so short, and he like
Oh my
embraced
God.
that nickname. And we went in.
Yo, Inches.
Yeah, that's how people talk to him. But we went into.
What's his name? Levi?
No, it wasn't
No?
Levi.
Okay.
Levi's the guy who had the really slick suits.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No. That was Miles.
Miles, you're right.
Dude,
Miles.
I went to
There's a
high
kid that
school
wore
with that
suits
guy.
in
Dude, he
school.
still, even in high school, he would just roll up one day in just a full-on like tuxedo.
Yeah, he looked incredible. But Inches and I went into the men's restroom. It was like a potty break or something after recess, and we go in there. And I'm like washing my hands, and there's 3 classmates over and near the back stall, like kind of whispering to each other and like freaking out about something. I'm like, "What's going on, guys?" I walk over, he's like, "Man, look over here." He goes, look what's written on the door. And I go and look at the door, and it says the F word. And he's like, "What does that say?" And I tried to send it out. I was like, "Fuck." And he goes, "Oh shit." And like all of them start screaming bloody murder in the bathroom. And this is what elementary school kids do. He runs out and starts telling my teacher I'm saying the F word in the bathroom.
What
and
a narc.
then yeah, exactly. My teacher's yelling at me. I was like, "I don't know what it is. I've never seen it before." This big ordeal about something so stupid.
I remember in 5th grade, I think for the first time in my life, me getting the wind knocked out of me.
That's a scary feeling.
Yeah, it is, especially as a kid. I was I don't know the events that led up to this, but the only thing I remember is drying my hands in the bathroom, and this guy came up to me. I see his face, dude, just wearing huge glasses. I completely forget his name, but he just boom right in my stomach, and just I was gasping for breath. I thought I was dying. That just feeling of you can't breathe, just clutching my stomach, and he just walked off.
Did you deserve it?
I don't remember. I don't think so. I don't think I ever did anything that warranted just getting sucker punched in the stomach.
That
The first time I got the wind knocked out of me, I was playing tackle football in the front yard one time, and this huge kid, he was like 2 grades higher than me, but we were
back
playing.
when you were a little bitch.
Yeah, I was a little bitch back then. But he was pretty big for his age. Like, I think he was almost 6 foot when we were in like elementary school.
Wow,
dude was
that's
absolutely
crazy.
huge. But yeah, he just like, it was one day I caught the ball and he was just charging full speed at me, and he tackled me, and I like slammed my head back, knocked the breath out of me. It was awful.
That is terrible. That reminds me of you getting randomly punched in the stomach. There's a guy at Smith's last night. He got punched in the face for no reason. This guy, I think, was just drunk and pissed and wanted to hit something, and just punched a guy and left. The guy was bleeding everywhere, and the guy was like holding his nose and like blood spraying. He's like, that was random.
Speaking of that, I don't think I've ever told this story, but it's a favorite of mine. Have you guys ever got in a physical alteration or have ever legitimately punched somebody?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
Not outside of karate.
All right. Whoa, what's your story, Jacob?
Oh, I mean, it wasn't much. I was at a middle school party.
And just to clarify, we will get to video games at some point. Please check the description down below
codes,
for time codes to skip throughout this. We'll get to that after this story. What were you saying?
I was in middle school, had a middle school party. Probably some kind of birthday party. There was a kid named Bobby. Apparently, I think I was talking to a girl that he was talking to. So that's where
I think I know who you're talking about.
Bobby Thompson. Yeah.
Hey,
I don't know if you were at this party.
I only went to one party in middle school, and I thought it was so freaking cool when I was invited.
Yeah, I got invited to parties back then.
I know you were popular.
Anyways,
whoa.
but yeah, he just came up to me and he pushed me in the back, and we started saying things, whatever middle schoolers say to each other. And then he tried to come tackle me, and I just like upper clocked him in the face as he was like coming down.
Did knock him out?
No. Just, he brushed it off, and then he tried to tackle me again. Other things happened.
Did you break his neck?
Yeah.
I figured.
Yeah.
That's how you end it real quick.
Yeah. Then we made out.
What?
Whoa.
I mean, I beat him up.
Okay.
You made up.
Yeah,
we made up. Yeah.
That's what you meant. The only time I ever got in a it's not even anything. I was at lunch, and there's this, I'm not going to say his name. There's a guy across from me who was a big Georgia Tech fan. And, obviously, if you listen to this podcast, I'm a huge Georgia fan. So we would have some friendly discussions about football. And this particular year, Georgia Tech was actually doing fairly well. Georgia was not at all. Definitely one of our darkest years, but somehow we still beat Georgia Tech, even in, they had Calvin Johnson and everything, and we still were able to beat them. And he comes into school that following Monday, super irritated. I didn't even bring up football because I'm just, if he won, I wouldn't have won. If not him, if Georgia Tech would have won, I would have been irritated if he would have brought it up. So I was just going to be nice and not bring anything up. But he starts bringing it up and starts going on about how, typical, the refs were dumb, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, dude, come on, just let's not even talk about it. And I don't know the entire conversation, but it ended up with him getting like 2 inches from my face yelling about football. And my instincts, if somebody jumps in my face and starts screaming, is just to swing, I guess, because that's what I did.
Georgia shit.
But I was holding a water bottle in my hand, and he gets in my face, and with the water bottle in my hand, I swing. But halfway through the swing, I realize, hey, you probably shouldn't hit this guy because he's like 4 feet taller than you, and he's huge. He's gonna beat the shit out of me. So halfway through the swing, I stop, but it still keeps going, and I just go, just barely pop him on the cheek.
God.
And his eyes get huge. He's like, oh, dude, you fucked up big time. So I was like, here, this is my death now. He's going to kill me. And he stands up, walks back, trips over his book bag, falls on the ground, gets back up, and I'm mortified. I'm like, oh my God.
You didn't laugh?
No. Everybody at the table was just like, oh. So he trips over his book bag, stands up, and I swear, God is my witness. He looks me in the eyes, and I'm not making this up. I'll never forget this. He goes, I would have beat your ass if I didn't trip over that book bag. And then he sits down and we just eat. And the thing is, though, is that he told other people the same thing. My friend came up to me and said, dude, Alex told me he was going to beat your ass, but he tripped over the book bag.
The embarrassment was too much for him.
And I always think about that, even to this day. I'm like, why did he even tell it? I would be embarrassed about that I tripped over my book bag.
That's something that I would do. I do clumsy things.
But he could have like continued over, like he could have walked around and still beaten me up. But I think that proves he wasn't going to do it anyway. So he was just trying to come up with an excuse to not fight me or something. So yeah, to this day, I just don't understand that story.
Sometimes I think committing to the fall is less embarrassing than trying to not fall. Like one time I was walking up a stage with like 8 mics in my hand, and I was like so tired I think it may have been Smith's, maybe a different venue.
I know where you're going with this.
And I walked up the stairs onto the stage and I tripped on the top step, and I kid you not, dude, my chest was parallel with the stage, like a foot from just scraping the stage, but somehow my long grasshopper legs, I like grasshoppered across the entire stage without falling. But if you can imagine me like bent all the way over just trying to keep my balance with like 8 mics in my hands, my arms flailing, my legs going crazy, trying to just keep standing.
Your long ass limbs.
And of course, like my weight is so brutal. She just sounds like a dinosaur stomping across the room. But I managed to stay balanced. Thankfully, I was the only one in the room, man. But I'm like, man, that looked ridiculous.
Have you ever just been falling and then like you realize halfway down you're like, this is happening?
Yeah. It's like it's in slow motion, like Celine Dion playing in the background. Yeah, that's the worst. That's hilarious, dude.
Too funny.
I have an embarrassing story about falling.
Do you?
This is when I first started going to the gym that I go to now. It was new at the time. It's in LA Fitness. So I was on the elliptical. You know what an elliptical is, gentlemen?
Yeah.
You know the things that got the handles?
I'm already laughing.
This is what I fell off. So I was finishing up, just using that for, it's the first couple times I used it. It's not like the first time I'd ever been on one of these. It was just the first time I had used one at this gym. So this is like a good impression on everyone. So I try to get off, and I hit, like there's like on the steps, there's kind of like sides to it. Mm-hmm. My foot like scrapes that, and I like fall, and I fall back like, the wheel, the back wheel. Yeah. I fall on that, my ass hits that, and I land on my back on the carpet. Then this old guy just walks up to me. He's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yes, I'm fine." And I'm sure everyone around me was just staring. It's like, who falls off a piece of equipment at a gym?
Yeah. Who does that?
I remember seeing my mother take a tumble when I was a kid, and I didn't know how to react to it because I didn't know that could happen to your own parent. And I was at the top of the hill in my neighborhood, and my mom wanted to ride my scooter down the hill.
Oh, I remember this.
And my mom's like, "I'm going to take a ride down the hill on your scooter." I was like, "All right." So being like a 6-year-old or 7-year-old, I'm standing at the top of the hill. My mom's just blazing down this hill on a scooter, man. I don't know what she was thinking. And she's so far down a hill that you can hardly hear anything. I just see my own mother front flip over the handlebars of the scooter and just like tumble into like 8 flips on the pavement, just slide. I just hear like, it's like the scooter like hitting the ground, and I just stand there. And I'm like, shit.
She all right.
I didn't know what to say or do. I didn't know what to do. My own mother, she was scraped up pretty bad, but I'll never forget that.
My mom?
Yeah. So.
Well, you guys want to talk about video games?
Yeah, probably should.
Yeah, we should probably get into that. Oh, so what'd you guys play this week? If anything.
I didn't play anything.
No more Hogwarts Mystery?
No, I hopped back on it. This had been over almost a week. It'd been like 6 days. Mm-hmm. Still didn't have enough energy to get through that. Fuck.
No way.
Portkey games, dude. I would have paid, I kid you not, I would have paid $10 to play that game. I would have just paid to play it if they hadn't all these microtransactions. Yeah. And This is the first time ever where I've seen a bad review score where I rejoiced. IGN gave it like a 3.5. I was like, holy crap, they deserve that. I hope no. I mean, that's the problem is that there's probably people paying out the ass to play that because they like Harry Potter so
They've
much.
lowered their prices already.
Have they?
But still, like, screw those
That is
guys.
absurd. Like,
so dumb.
That's just the funniest, stupidest thing to me. It's like, why would you slave over developing a game and then literally prevent people from playing it?
I think Jam City is the developer. It's a studio that's working with.
I thought it was Portkey Games.
Or maybe it's... Well, I see, like, Jam City in the title.
Maybe
so
they, like, collaborated on it or something. Or maybe Portkey's, like, the new Harry Potter division of games for WB.
They should have either made this... They should have just made this free to play and had cosmetic options for your dude or maybe a few extra things.
A new wizard's hat.
Yeah, just stuff like that. And I feel like that would have been received better. And just might have done better.
It just this passion swells in me every time I think about the possibility of a AAA Harry Potter game in the vein of Hogwarts Mystery. What it could be blows my mind.
That's what Rocksteady's working on, dude, right now.
Can you imagine?
No, I can't.
That's what I want to believe. I want to believe that.
Like, think about how awesome
imagine Harry Potter with Arkham Combat, dude.
Like, think about how awesome it would be. Where I'm not going to go into tangent because I could talk about it for probably 5 or 6 hours straight. I'm not even kidding. Just how deep and amazing and immersive this game could be. Because remember playing the Quidditch video game back in the day on
the Quidditch World Cup game?
Yeah, because it's basically FIFA on broomsticks. It was that competitive. And now I imagine if you go back to it now, it probably feels very dated. At the time, I remember it feeling amazing. But imagine like the FIFA of Harry Potter, like it feels as good as a FIFA game, but you're playing Quidditch just within a Harry Potter RPG alone. That you can just go play Quidditch even online, like online matches, and even there's like a like leaderboards in your own game. Like it's a single player RPG, but there's also like multiplayer leaderboards with like the House Cup at the end of the year and stuff. That'd be kind of cool. Not only within your own story, but like globally. Everyone who's playing it could be cool.
There's a House Cup in Hogwarts Mystery.
And think about it, everyone playing around the world at the end of each season of the game, your house points rack up at the end of each school year, maybe get like a bonus if your house wins.
There just needs to be a MMO. That's what I want the most. I would be totally fine with an RPG, but I think just Harry Potter would work perfectly as an MMO. It's like it's meant to happen.
Because imagine even in between school years, where they're of course lengthy, but you go all 7 years. It's a very lengthy game. I'm talking at least 200 hours. I'm talking like Witcher 3 size. And even in between school years, you're doing stuff outside of school that can either contributes to the overall story or just side quests doing other things. It'd be so cool. You have to go back to Diagon Alley every year to get new school supplies. I'd want it to take place long before Harry Potter, I think.
Jacob, let me ask you a question.
Oh, gosh.
In World of Warcraft.
Oh, yeah. Best game ever made.
Yeah. If I am part of the Horde,
yes,
can I participate in the same raids as with a person that is with the Alliance?
No.
Are the raids different?
No. Well, I think some might be. Just like cutscenes or...
so you have
It's always the same bosses.
You have to play with people from the Horde.
If you're the Horde, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
For the Horde.
Why do you ask?
Because in this game that I'm inventing in my head, this Harry Potter MMO, I think it would be awesome if at some point during your school year you could switch and be like a Death Eater or something. And then I was trying to think of how in-game content would work if like only the Death Eaters could work with each other, and then Yeah.
I like how you're comparing the Horde players to Death Eaters. I like that.
Well, they're the bad guys, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So that would make sense.
For the Alliance.
I like to imagine combat being very technical in a way. Almost like For Honor style, but not to where you're like pushing in different directions, but it's almost tactical in that sense, where you're not just like spamming spells the whole time. You have to be kind of methodical about how you cast each one.
I envision the combat is like playing a mage in WoW or something.
Like turn-based?
No, just...
I envision it as a... God, what's it called?
Like imagine have to
no, what's Pokemon like?
Turn-based?
Yeah, turn-based. That's what I imagine.
I don't know if I'd want it to be turn-based. I'd want it to be real-time, but have to be very tactical in a sense where you have to defend at the right times and cast the right spells to deflect certain spells or counteract other ones. It'd be really cool. Just imagine going into the Forbidden Forest for just hours on end. There's like a crap ton of stuff to do.
Do you think it'd be weird if you're playing as a student who's just kicking ass and dueling?
That's what I would like it to be God of War style, where of course, God of War at the beginning, you feel powerful already, but you just grow more powerful over time. I wouldn't be like necessarily like that, but that feeling of progression where you start as a first year, your very weak spells, like even if you learn like Stupefy, for example.
And
This is why
Flippendo!
I feel like for a single player Harry Potter like big RPG, I would like to play as, and I'm going to completely butcher this name. I could never pronounce it right, even reading in the books or in the movies. And Aurora?
An Auror?
An Aura? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Auror, yeah.
Or an Auror?
Yeah.
I think that would be awesome because you could kick ass in combat.
Mhm.
You could maybe go to Hogwarts, investigate some shenanigans going on in there. You would have access to outside of the school as well. I think that might be really cool to play in an RPG. And I feel like going through the motions as a student would very much fit in MMO.
Mhm.
Yeah, WB is really messing up not making a game.
I mean, they
like
are.
this.
It's
Like,
confirmed.
it's like
they
their
are
biggest
making,
franchise. Like they're confirmed making what?
Yeah, and a console PC Harry Potter game.
That's confirmed.
Yeah,
It
Really.
needs to exist. Imagine just hopping on your broomstick that you can also upgrade over time, or just purchase new broomsticks and just flying around Hogwarts. Just anywhere you want, just like in the old games, but obviously it's much greater than it used to be.
Mhm.
You can skip class and there'll be repercussions not only in the story and the characters, but also your level progression. If you're
Mhm.
skipping class, man, how are you going to level up and learn new stuff?
Exactly.
So much potential. You can play wizard's chess.
yeah. This GameSpot article. There's a new Harry Potter game coming to consoles. Portkey Games. They're making stuff. There's a Harry Potter AR game coming. But yeah, they do say they're working on a console game.
Huh.
So
That's awesome. That was quite the tangent.
Yeah.
You only played that this week?
Well, I tried. I didn't play it. I just
Okay.
turned it on and they were like, buy more energy. Practically threw my phone across the room. So that was it for me.
nice.
Gotcha.
Preston's going to help me install my 1080 before he leaves today,
That's exciting.
which I won't touch for probably another week.
But it'll be there when you're ready.
Yeah.
Good deal.
What about you, Jacob?
Me next. I also played Harry Potter Hogwarts Mystery.
Did you get past the Devil's Snare?
I'm in my second year.
Did you pay?
No.
How'd you get past it?
You just have to wait for your energy to refill.
Dude, I waited like over a week
Yeah, it probably filled up, then you spent it all again, then you have to wait again.
to get through the Devil's Snare.
No, you get one energy every 4 minutes. And like you have a timer on your mission time. Like you'll have like 3 hours to complete that. If you don't complete it in 3 hours, you have to do it again. If it gives you like a 3-hour mission, you will have enough energy to do it in 3 hours. You'll just have to keep opening the game.
Well, how you feeling about it? Because I
No, I don't really like it that much, but it's just something to occupy myself with. The main narrative is really good, yeah.
Yeah.
What about
I mean,
the
it's
mechanics?
actually not bad. It's basically literally telling the story of Harry Potter without Harry Potter.
Right.
It's kind of stupid.
You're the outcast.
Yeah, but
Just play Pocket Camp, dude.
I should.
Much better game.
Forgot about that.
But the dueling's actually not that bad in the game. It's basically like you know how like those little grids that have like it's like rock paper scissors grid. Like one thing beats the other.
Mhm.
And the things are sneaky, defensive, and aggressive attacks. And you just it's random. You pick one, and depending on what your opponent picks, you either do damage or they do damage to you. Or if you pick the same one, you like cancel out and nothing happens. But it's the dueling's better than I thought it would be, and literally a game where you don't do anything besides like tap the screen. So I played that.
It sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's really fun, dude.
Yeah.
Wow. Hufflepuff, best house.
Yeah.
I also played more God of War.
Yeah.
I'm getting very close to platinuming the game. I was telling Preston that I have to go back to Alfheim and Niflheim. Or not Niflheim.
Let's not spoil anything.
Helheim. Well, everyone should know there's different realms in God of War.
Well, I just wanted to
Yeah.
just throw out there. Let's still not spoil anything.
I mean, if you know anything about Norse mythology, there's different realms. But anyways, I'm pretty much getting to the end of collecting all the ravens in the game and all the thingamabobs. I still need to kill some Valkyries and do that stuff. But besides that, I'm pretty much done with the game. And I've also played a little game called Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I picked that up
I
yesterday.
have that. I haven't played it yet.
You got it.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I mean, it's a platformer.
Yeah.
If you like platformers, I think it's a pretty good one. I've played 3 or 4 stages so far and loved the soundtrack of the game so far.
A lot of praise for it too in the reviews. That's why I picked it up because I heard it was good. I just everyone reviewing the Switch version had a lot of good things to say about it.
Yeah, I think I saw a lot of 9s. And I think I saw an 8. But yeah, the game's fun. Not really much to say about it yet. All the companions that you get in the levels are cool. I haven't tried out Funky Kong yet.
Funky Kong.
Apparently, he just makes everything easier, and I kind of just want to play through the game, organically.
Yeah,
just to get the how the game. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Just how it's supposed to be played. Yeah. But did I play anything else? I mean, I played a little bit of Overwatch, but I think that's it. So
nice.
Donkey Kong's cool.
That's cool. I as well played God of War. I'm about to platinum it. I got all the ravens. I got all the treasures. I got all the artifacts. So I got 2 Valkyries left, including the Queen. And I got to finish Niflheim, and that's it. So Niflheim. So I have probably a day or 2 left, and I'll probably start another playthrough on the Give Me God of War difficulty. So I'm interested in playing in that. Is everything okay?
Yeah,
I'm hot.
just wanted to touch Jacob.
You're making me hotter.
Sorry, Jacob. You're the one in the tank top.
Yeah, it's not helping.
I surprisingly feel just fine right now. I don't know why that is.
Mildly hot.
You guys heated about something?
My love for
emotionally.
God of War.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I'm just attracted to you, and it makes me sweaty.
I mean, I get that completely, Jacob. What did you play? Anything else?
No. Yeah, I played. I tried to finish the original Splinter Cell, but due to me playing it on new hardware, there are some lighting issues. So the final level on the Presidential Palace, there are spotlights that I'm not seeing the actual spotlight on the ground. So it's just, I don't know where they are. So I keep getting found by these spots. Yes, it's literally not rendered due to they're supposed to work on older graphics cards. So I've tried some fixes that haven't really worked, but it's fine. Like I said, I've played the original Splinter Cell a billion times, so I've already experienced that last.
That's why PCs suck, dude.
Yeah, dude, it sucks. But I actually just bought off Amazon for like 99 cents a copy of the Splinter Cell Double Agent on the original Xbox, which is pretty much like a continuation of Chaos Theory, where the next gen version of Double Agent was created by a different team. And I like both of those games a whole lot. It is cool that it's kind of the same story, but different interpretations of it, with the original Xbox version, like I said, being almost like a Chaos Theory 2.0. So I think that's coming in from Amazon on Tuesday, so I'll probably be done with God of War by that, and I'll hop into that, and I'll finish up some Ni no Kuni, and I actually have to go somewhere on Tuesday, and I've been thinking about picking up Bayonetta for the Switch to play that on the go while I'm waiting.
Do it.
Where I'm going on Tuesday.
Maybe you should pick up Rocket League instead on Switch, like I did.
Maybe.
I deleted it off my Switch the other day.
Dude,
oh no!
Great, taking up too much space.
Yeah, great game. I was just like, I'm never gonna play this, so I deleted it.
Yeah.
And I picked up Donkey Kong, which I also haven't played.
Dude, I played. I completely forgot about a game that I put a couple of hours into. A game that you would never guess in a million years.
Let's hear it.
Destiny 2.
Yes. No, Garrett, I actually have a copy of Destiny 2 for you on PC if you want it.
I'll take it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It was the
waiting for that fall expansion we're about to talk about.
It's the Humble Bundle game, so I have a code that I would be more
seriously,
than happy
I'll totally take
to give to you. So, but Max Payne 3.
Oh, I wanted to play that on PC.
Yeah, I got the code on one of the older Humble Bundles, and I was just going through my Steam library, saw that game, remembered liking it a whole bunch, so I downloaded it again, and I I played through quite a handful of levels just in one sitting, and that's a really fun game.
You should watch the YouTuber I thoroughly enjoy, who is also the reason why I am involved with COD Connected now, Racevic. He did an entire series on all the Max Payne games, but specifically the Max Payne 3 episode was fascinating as to how that game was developed and the process it went through to get to the point it was at. You know, I remember loving that on 360 as well, and I really, really wanted to try it on PC.
Yeah, it's a really cool game. So I don't know why I've had the urge actually for a while to come back and play it, but just seeing it in my Steam library just really made me just go ahead and do it. Did I play anything else? No, I think that's pretty much it. I didn't have too much time to really even play this week, so the little bit of time I did have was with God of War. Nice. So, and we're finally to the point in God of War where people are putting out all their videos speculating what the sequel's going to be and really diving into the lore of this game. And I'm just completely fascinated by different people's takes on the story and what the future could hold for the franchise and stuff. And every time I just go back through the story of that game and like reflect on the really impactful moments and just the boss battles and just still playing the game, just being in that world. I just love it so much. That's such a phenomenal game.
It is.
I'm so incredibly excited for that franchise. Just holy crap, I'm so excited.
Speaking of that franchise, what were you going to say? I don't want to cut you off.
I wanted to ask Jacob in the most non-spoilery way imaginable, did the credits actually drop for you?
Yeah.
Like the actual credits.
I think.
Like,
I don't know.
The credits where there's a black screen and it's just white credits.
Yeah.
Those credits.
I think. I don't remember now.
Jacob, we're going to have to ask you to leave.
So, yeah. Why? Why is this important?
Well, because there's... I can't say anything. I don't want to spoil it.
We'll talk after the podcast.
Yeah, we'll talk after.
I think I know what you're talking about.
You probably do. Yeah. I can't imagine you not. But yes. I was just trying to...
I saw credits. Yeah. I saw credits. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, because there's... Okay, we'll just talk about it later. But anyways, what were you saying?
Speaking of this franchise, I watched Push Square's video from Sammy Barker of Push Square, where he talked about The Last of Us 2 and God of War, or Last of Us 2 post God of War.
I forgot about that game.
And he was saying the same things that we talked about, how just last week we were talking about how we'd rather see a sequel at the moment to God of War rather than Last of Us Part 2, because like we said, Last of Us felt like a definitive ending that I would have been satisfied with forever.
Yeah.
But he was talking about in terms of gameplay, how even they, especially after God of War, will need to sort of evolve their gameplay experience and their progression system specifically. Now, that not that Last of Us is necessarily fully gameplay focused, it's very narrative heavy and involved with the world. But I enjoyed the gameplay of Last of Us, but even post God of War, how I'll feel about playing Last of Us Part 2, which granted we can't judge at all because we know Naughty Dog, they continually surprise us every game. Usually in terms of graphical fidelity and character performances, but in terms of gameplay, nothing has like wowed me since an Uncharted 4.
Hook, dude.
Yeah, like nothing's like evolved to a crazy extent. Of course, they have their amazing set pieces that are breathtaking, and you're actually involved with all those, which is great. But how will they evolve the Last of Us formula going forward? So he had a lot of good points to make, but none of which I was totally on board with. Where he was like, is Last of Us Part 2 going to be too violent after the last trailer and stuff? Or God of War is violent on purpose, and Last of Us Part 2 may be too violent. I wasn't really in on all that, but as far as the direction of the gameplay, I was like, he was making some good points that we were kind of talking about. But I imagine Naughty Dog will blow us away at E3.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want The Last of Us to be influenced gameplay wise by God of War.
He didn't mean that. He was just making the points as in like where God of War, its gameplay, not only was it an amazing story, like Last of Us is an amazing story, but the gameplay felt very video gamey and satisfying in that sense. He didn't mean like combat wise and stuff or like companion wise, but just to where the gameplay feels more video game-ish than the previous one.
Okay.
Not like arcadey or anything, but just more to do than just what we had in the first game.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Quick story.
Last of Us 2 needs to be an open world game.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, then it'll be a success.
Yes.
Did Uncharted 4 or Last of Us have just in general, not counting like the biggest open world in Uncharted 4, but which one had bigger like spaces?
The
That was Uncharted
Lost
4.
Legacy had the biggest area that Naughty Dog has ever done.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not considering Lost Legacy.
still haven't
which
played
one
that.
had bigger play spaces?
Well, Uncharted 4 for sure. Especially
I'm
with
just having trouble remembering.
that boat area. The Last of Us didn't have big environments at all.
Yeah, you're right.
That was very much a
pretty linear for the most
You
part.
could still go in and out of like
branching.
houses and stuff, but it
And
was still
what?
pretty contained.
I feel
Last
like
of Us-
the
Well,
biggest
I mean-
quote unquote area would have been the town you arrive at where you meet, I think his name's Bill.
Bill.
Before you
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
meet Bill and you kind of
Yeah.
explore those
There's a
buildings.
few places to go. I could totally see The Last of Us being maybe kind of like Uncharted 4 was. I can't imagine them doing something like Lost. Granted, they could surprise me, but I can't see them doing anything like Lost Legacy where you're in a massive environment like that.
I feel like most of the game takes place there. Did it not?
Not most of the game, but like I think it was like chapter 5 or 6, like halfway through the
I
game.
don't remember much about that game. Lost Legacy.
Yeah, same here. I beat it like 2 or 3
I remember like the
times,
last
so-
boss fight.
I think I'm going to play that this summer.
Did you
'cause,
never play it?
No. That and Assassin's Creed are on my top of my priority list right now because this summer I'm not taking any classes because none are offered for me, unfortunately. So, I mean, I'll be working a lot, of course, and I may be interning with
Hang on,
someone else.
you said you haven't played Lost Legacy?
Not yet, no.
Oh,
So
dude.
I don't know if I should. I'll probably just
That's
get
cool.
through that first and then go into Assassin's Creed. So I imagine Assassin's Creed will take much more time, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But those two are going to be my summer games in addition to Vampire if it's reviewed well.
I forgot about that.
So
I
yeah,
hope that
I'm
game's
excited
great.
about those. Especially, I think it'd be fun to just play an action adventure game and Assassin's Creed in Egypt over the course of the summer. It could be fun.
Dude, every time we just talk about the future in terms of gaming, especially this year, I get so hyped. There's so much stuff coming out this year.
It's
that
unbelievable.
That I'm just so excited for.
And Last of Us coming out this summer, of course.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. We're just a couple months away.
Speaking of Last of Us Part 2, by the way, the thing I want to end on, I do not at all underestimate Truckman and Naughty Dog. Like I'm certain they're going to blow us
Yeah,
away. So
sure.
I'm not worried about it at all. So I'm excited about E3.
Yeah, same here.
Speaking, not God of War, something else I was going to ask. The only video game related thing I have, which I didn't think I was allowed to say this, but apparently it's like a public media thing that I'm going to the Call of Duty thing for COG in a couple weeks, so that'll be exciting. I'm hoping I get to play Black Ops 4. I don't know if it's just like here's what it is and here's some information, see ya. But that's happening on the 17th. So hopefully I'll get to play this rumored Battle Royale mode and talk about it.
Nice.
We'll see. So that's the only video game related thing I have going on between now and then.
Let me ask you guys this. Did any of y'all play the Detroit Become Human demo?
I didn't have time.
Nope.
Me and my wife played it.
Your waifu.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say about it because everybody in the world has seen that demo like a billion times. So I can say that I don't think I'm interested in it. I think I'm going to take a pass. Unless the reviews, they're like, this is the most gripping story of the generation.
Right.
Like it would have to be something like that to get me involved. Like my backlog is so full right now. I have just tons to play, at least until Vampire comes out. And kind of the same with Detroit. I'll wait for reviews for that as well.
Is it only on PS4?
Detroit?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I might pass.
If
too.
the demo was something different that we haven't seen yet, then that might have persuaded me a little bit more. But just what I played, it was cool, but I don't think I'm in the mindset right now to want to play through a game that narratively heavy and stuff. Just, walking around and picking up stuff and yelling at people and stuff like that. So I think I'm going to probably take a pass on that one.
But it's the butterfly effect, right?
That's Until Dawn.
It's almost the same kind of thing.
Supermassive.
Choices have actions or repercussions.
I'd still like a follow-up to Until Dawn, but in an entirely different location,
Dude, the
new story, new
Inpatient.
characters. Yeah,
dude.
that was pretty bad. Yeah, but Until Dawn, man, could be an incredible franchise, I think, with brand new characters, new story, new location, just great, good old-fashioned horror stories with the butterfly effect with new, interesting characters that you can relate to and engage with. So they have a lot of potential there, but they're not acting on it. The Inpatient was quite disappointing, unfortunately.
Has anybody heard anything on their other game, the Bravo team?
Nope.
Isn't that out already?
Yeah.
No, I haven't heard a thing.
I haven't either. I was kind of hyped for that.
Now that I think about it, I haven't heard any buzz about VR other than like some Vive stuff, but at least PlayStation VR, I haven't heard any buzz at all
besides
in a while.
Moss.
Yeah.
I know that's getting
time.
a physical release.
I'm excited to see more of that. What's it called? Like something in chocolate or blood and something.
Blood and Truth.
Yeah.
Blood and chocolate.
Like the kind of
dope.
the full version of London Heist looks cool.
I wish that would come to Vive.
Yeah, it'd be way better on Vive, no doubt.
Speaking of that, I got Doom VFR for Vive. And it's fun, but it's hard as shit. I'm getting my butt kicked in.
It wasn't too hard when Jacob and I played it. Maybe I had it on super easy.
Yeah, I'm playing on just normal.
Okay, I was on easy.
I'm getting my teeth kicked in. So, but
it was pretty cool though. Even on PSVR, it was pretty cool.
It's graphically, it's one of the best VR games I've seen on the Vive. It's beautiful. So yeah, I forgot about that. I played that.
I really love VR.
Shut up, Jacob.
Do I need a TI to handle Vive or other parts?
Good.
I can get a 10 for the 1080. I can do Vive.
You should definitely do that. I should spend
will,
all that money for a Vive.
I need to know how much.
I need to get a
how
monitor
CPU.
First,
Yeah. Vive's dope, but if you really want to play a Vive, like, and there's something coming out, I would let you borrow mine if you wanted it.
Okay.
So, or if you ever needed to review something or whatever, you can totally borrow mine. Well, besides that, I have one more thing to say before we hop into the news. I started a new anime, and a lot of people, especially in our Discord, have been talking about it.
Called like Francis C. Elliott or something. What's it called?
No. Francis, what?
What's the show called?
It's Darling in the Franxx.
Franxx. I knew it was something with an F.
Yeah, so I watched the first episode of that.
Yeah.
And it has definitely tickled my interest, but holy crap, is it just out there.
What do you mean?
It's like there's, I'll just give you a little synopsis of the first episode. So spoiler. So it starts off with this giant aircraft flying in, and there's this dude in a respiratory mask on the plane, and then there's this chick with the pink hair and the horns and the red eyes, like the lady from it, and she's like, I want to take a bath, and then she licks herself, and she's like, nasty, and then the guy's like her partner, and she's called like the partner killer. And then there's this dude that looks just like Kirito from Sword Art Online. He's somewhere and he's looking at this dead bird. And he's like, I'm a loner. I'm alone. And then it cuts to these other people and they're talking about him. I think his name's like Hero. And they're like, yeah, he's alone and stuff. And then he's finds some clothes, and then he looks out into the lake and that lady's there naked, and
the horn lady,
and he thinks she's drowning, so he runs out there, and she pops up with her hair strategically covering her nipples as she naturally as she flies up, and then she's like, I like you should be my partner, and then she like licks him. And then the other guys show up and they're like, hey, what are you doing here? Come back. And then this ceremony happens, and this giant robot T-Rex thing shows up. And then the robots that the people command, called the Franxx or whatever it is, they show up, and you need two people to pilot them, like a male and a female to pilot
like
these
the Jaegers
things.
and Pacific Rim.
I guess, but
are they
apparently
getting in these, or are they?
Yeah, they're inside them. But the T-Rex like owns the pink girl and her dude, and I think he dies. He like flies out of it. He was already effed up, and then she grabs the hero dude and just smooches him. And she's like, "You're my darling." And then their machine,
darling in the Franxx.
Yeah, then their machine turns into this robot lady thing, and then they just F the dinosaur up, and
wow.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I'm really into this.
Yeah.
It was for that sick review, man.
It was cool though. I'm gonna keep watching it. It was
all right.
It was pretty cool.
Maybe I'll try
I missed
after My Hero.
That was a very small I thought it was cool, but I'm very interested because I know, so even outside of our Discord, on my Twitter timeline, people are talking about how awesome it is. So I'm gonna keep going with it. Speaking of My Hero, I've heard the past like 2 episodes have been like incredible. So I'm excited to get back to that too.
I'm at the cusp of season 2. I've just begun.
Nice. It's a great season.
Excellent. I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Such a good show. Darling in the Franxx is good. I know it might have seemed like I was making fun of it, but I have no clue what's happening right now. There's just a ton of information that I'm sure will be explained to me as time goes on. But from what I've seen, I like what I've seen so far. So I'll continue watching it.
Cool.
I think it would be in our best interest to begin the news.
Probably.
Because Garrett's on a time limit.
I got half an hour.
All right, let's do it.
So
this is the It's Obvious Gaming Podcast, the show where my 2 best friends and I get together every single week to discuss video games. Obviously, you can find all our content, including the video version of this podcast, over at youtube.com/ItsObviousGaming. If YouTube isn't good for you, or you'd like to take us on the go, you can find us weekly on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Audio Boom, Spotify, and other podcasting services. Please check the description down below for timestamps to skip throughout the podcast, links to our social media pages, our gamer tags, pretty much anything you would ever need to get in contact with us. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the podcast or subscribe to the YouTube channel, and be sure to like and comment down below to get involved with the It's Obvious community. Doing so helps us out tremendously, and we'd forever be in your debt. With all that out of the way, hey man, what's the news?
God of War, I should have said this earlier when we were discussing it in depth, but God of War is officially Sony's fastest selling IP of the generation, with 3.1 million copies sold in its first 3 days on the market.
Woo!
Exciting for Sony Santa Monica, the franchise in general, and especially Mr. Cory Barlog, who shed tears at the review scores of his own game, which is very heartwarming and endearing. And God of War is just wonderful. We've gushed over it a ton.
Indeed.
That's about the extent of that story, but that's just exciting for them.
Have you watched the spoiler videos with him?
Yeah.
Easy Allies in particular,
Yeah,
solid.
I haven't watched that one.
It's a good one.
Okay.
Easy Allies in general.
You are so grabbable, Jacob.
Easy Allies in general is awesome. Great podcast. I was
agree.
listening to the one on the way over here, their Frame Trap podcast. It's like 3 hours, 2 times a month, I think it comes out, and they just talk about games they're playing. It's great.
Wish we had time to do that.
What's their job?
I would like to do an episode where all we do is discuss what we want in a Harry Potter game. I think we've done before, but I have so many more ideas that are even beyond what we discussed before. You guys see that new Beyond Good and Evil 2 gameplay?
I did.
Yeah, that game still looks like it's 8 years away. It looks so rough right now, dude.
Well, yeah, it's alpha. I think that is a crazy ambitious game. And I'm super interested to see what actually sticks and what
relation does it have to the first game?
It's a
at this
prequel,
point?
I think.
Is it? Because it's like crazy in comparison to the original.
The first one you were playing as Jade. You had a pig uncle.
Yeah.
And you were like a journalist, and there were these alien things. I remember sneaking around and taking pictures and stuff, and I really liked it, but yeah, I don't know. This one looks interesting.
I didn't get anything from this little studio diary / gameplay reveal. I mean, it's cool to see. Like, I like seeing behind the scenes stuff of animations they're working on and their process, and like you said, their ambitions for the game. But right now, I'm not really feeling anything for it whatsoever. So maybe when we see a more polished beta version of the game, I might be a little more interested. But I have no connection to the first one other than through you and what you've told me. And I know you said you liked it back in the day.
Yeah, it's great.
So I mean, I'll of course keep an eye on it over time, but as of right now, I'm just kind of waiting until it's a little more prepped for distribution.
I hear you.
And a hilarious turn of events, which doesn't surprise me at all. SOS: The Final Escape is now officially titled SOS Battle Royale.
Oh, wow.
Which is funny because when I went to see this game, the way they were pitching it, it sounded like a Battle Royale game. And in some ways, it is a Battle Royale game because you can kill the other players or work with them, and only 4 people can escape, like we discussed months ago at this point. But I know a couple of you in the community have dabbled in SOS, but it is now being revamped as a Battle Royale game. I don't know.
That's going to sell it, just having Battle Royale in the title.
Yeah, the story came from Nerd Much, in particular from Mr. Jeff Scott. I'm not going to read through it all the way, but basic gist is that like, oh, you thought you were signing up for a game show? I'll say what the developer said. It's a pretty little short paragraph. It just says something to play, follow the leader. It says this is from the developer. It says, you thought you were signing up for a reality TV show, but the network has decided it would be much more entertaining for their audience to watch you fight to the death instead. You already signed the contract, so you really don't have much of a choice. If you want to live, you'll have to be the last one standing. It says, Jeff says, with SOS's content drop 3, SOS becomes SOS Battle Royale. The devs promise rapid, high-intensity 10-minute battles. 32 players will enter the map in true Battle Royale fashion. There's only one survivor. Weapons range from melee, such as hatchets, to your standard array of guns. So that's that for SOS. Maybe I'll check it out because I have SOS to see what it's like, but I can't even bring myself to play PUBG or Fortnite at the moment, so I don't know why I would play SOS, but I sound like such a hypocrite, though, because I'm excited to see Battle Royale and Call of Duty. But I think it's just the idea of
you've played SOS, so you kind of know what it's going to be like already.
So I'm excited. I'm excited to see people innovate with Battle Royale, but the only ones that have really attracted me, other than PUBG, has been Hunt Showdown so far. So I'll see what this is all about. I'll watch some videos, I guess, but most excited to see what Call of Duty has up their sleeve.
Yeah.
Anyway, Destiny 2's fall expansion has been detailed a wee bit. This comes from Aaron Castillo of COD Connected. It says Activision has already mentioned that the game will be getting a fall expansion, like you actually discussed not too long ago, Jacob, their big, exciting fall expansion. Yeah. However, they elaborated saying the intent of the content is to, quote, make players more powerful, provide more rewards, and make the endgame more meaningful. The fact that they have to say that make the endgame more meaningful this late and after launch is just hilarious to me.
They need to reassure people.
Right. But apparently this is just the beginning, as Destiny 2, I always struggle with saying Destiny. It just doesn't roll off my tongue the right way.
Yeah.
Will also be receiving a game-changing feature, something that's apparently never been done in first-person shooters before. Some big talk coming from Activision there. Cody Johnson, COO of Activision, explained that fans will get an incredibly engaging experience this new mode has as it introduces a whole new style of play for the genre. It's like I want to reword this man's sentence into my own words, and I keep having to force myself not to.
Yeah.
He also expressed that both Bungie and Activision were excited about the really exciting development for the latest game in the series. With that said, he wouldn't elaborate on exactly what the mysterious game mode was.
Huh.
I just botched that paragraph so badly that I'm almost electing to never read on this podcast again. That's how out of it I am right now. What do you guys think the game mode is? You want to speculate first, Jacob? Mr. Destiny guy?
Something that's never been done in a first-person shooter.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to speculate on what that could potentially be.
Maybe it's something that has nothing to do with shooting.
It sounds lame as hell already.
What if it's not?
It's kart racing.
I mean, they introduced like...
Had the Sparrow racing.
Sparrow racing. I have no idea. I can't think of anything.
I guess we'll find out. It looks like Bungie's still pushing to...
maybe it's like target practice.
Keep Destiny 2 alive.
That's in World War II.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's in Smash Bros. Too.
I've never been an idea guy in my life, with the exception of Harry Potter video games.
And Star Wars.
Yeah, and Star Wars, so... Most ideas.
You told me to make a game, I'll make you a game.
Like if you asked me, if Activision came to me and I was in Bungie, they're like, we want you to implement something into Destiny 2 that has never been done.
Do something that's never been done. Make it good.
I would have no idea where to begin. So,
what if it's space battles? I know those have been in the game.
I remember before Destiny 2 came out, like long before it came out, we were like, what if you could fly your ship to like other planets, like No Man's Sky, and get,
what if it is? Battles? What if they turn into No Man's Sky?
I would be actually surprised if this is actually something that's never been done before. Because I can't even think of anything that would fit with Destiny that's never been done before.
I know. I don't know.
Unless it's probably like just a small mechanic that's technically never been done before.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm interested to hear the community and media's response to Warmind.
I'll be playing it
Tuesday. Yeah.
So, yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that goes for players.
They're making a lot of good changes, so I'm excited to actually stop in, see what's up.
Yeah, see, I would have to play all the way through Curse of Osiris before this, because even on PC, I'd want to start.
You don't even have to buy that expansion to play the new one.
I'd have to play through all of it on PC to get to Warmind. Appropriately.
Hey, he's got a free code for you, right?
Yeah, I don't have time for that, unfortunately.
Well,
or the will. I don't have the willpower to get through that.
I don't blame you.
But I'm going to wait for the fall release, of course. Like I said, I still am hoping Destiny 2 bounces back, because I really, really enjoyed the base game, playing through the story and stuff. So,
yeah,
we'll see. Jacob, have you dabbled in the Rialto map yet, or is it even out on the PTR?
It's out, but I have not played it.
Okay. Have you heard anyone talk about it?
Yeah. I mean, I know what it's like from playing the It's the same map that was in the archives event, but it's just I think you go through it the opposite way that you go through it in the PvE match, and it's at a different. It's at daytime instead. Like in the mission, it was at nighttime.
Okay,
but I mean, it's basically just a long street. There's a lot of high ground, a lot of tight corridors. It looks really nice. I mean, it's in Rialto.
It sounds so cool, dude.
I think
Got the
Overwatch sounds
riverboats.
fun to play this summer as well.
You should.
So I'm gonna do. What were we talking about? Assassin's Creed, Uncharted,
Vegas, yeah.
and maybe dabble in some Overwatch.
You do you, man.
I like. It just feels like a summer fun game to me. All the colorful characters and wonderful music.
Yeah.
It's a very joyful game.
There'll be an event going on in the summer too. So.
Excellent. Perfect timing.
But yeah, I don't have a whole lot of information for the map, unfortunately.
Okay.
You know what we do have a whole lot of information about?
What?
Red Dead Redemption 2.
You're right.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about it.
Before we go into it, we can blaze through this pretty quickly. How do you guys feel about the trailer?
I thought it was cool.
Yeah, it's just cool.
Just another trailer.
Oh, Western, bunch of cowboys, a bunch of bad
Confirmed.
guys.
I thought it was cool that like
Favorite character.
50% of it was legit gameplay.
Yeah,
pulled
I
from
could
it.
I
That's
could
pretty
even
cool.
tell before anyone was saying that a couple of like there's a scene where a guy like tackles someone. I could tell that's gameplay, and there's a couple little bits you could see that it was in game.
I just want to see the gameplay though.
Yeah, I imagine we're going to see it very soon. Or obviously in the months leading up to it. I hope Rockstar does their classic thing where they just have that narrator talk about the game. That's like my favorite way to see gameplay revealed, where it's not like someone on a stage. Like as exciting as that can be at E3, I like when they just release their little snippets, like 3 or 4 minute videos where a guy just describes certain aspects of the world.
Reloading. Over.
Yeah. So there's a lot to cover here, but we'll go through them meticulously here because it's very, very exciting. Granted, this is just from a 45-minute demo that IGN got to see in action, and it is just amazing. These are the things I love about Rockstar games. It's just how immersive and real they try to make their worlds, and with each game, with GTA 4 or Red Dead, it was GTA 4, then Red Dead, then GTA 5, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Just you can see the progression of just how immersive the worlds can be over time. And this one sounds like it's beyond all of that, like you'd expect. And just a fun fact that I was listening to in IGN's discussion about this is that this game has been in development for 8 years. 8 freaking years around the world with all the Rockstar studios, because I think they're calling it a Rockstar Productions game rather than Rockstar North or Rockstar, wherever the other one is over in Europe, I think. Or San Diego, wherever it is. Is it Rockstar San Diego? Is that where it is? I can't remember.
I think so.
Beats me, man.
Anyway, all of the Rockstar studios around the world have been collaborating on this game for 8 years collectively. Obviously, there's teams have been working on GTA 5 and online and everything, but that's amazing in and of itself. But anyway, let's talk about the details we know, some of which we've already heard. We're just kind of reiterating. So you play as Arthur Morgan, part of Dutch's gang, the Vanderlyn gang.
I hope that is it. You just play as Arthur Morgan.
Me too.
don't wanna
I
be
hope you don't
switching
bounce
characters
around.
and stuff.
I get the feeling that was a gimmick for GTA 5 that, I don't even think gimmick's the right word because I thought it was very successful.
mechanic.
Yeah.
They probably just had like an idea that they wanted to tell different stories, and they thought they could do that.
I liked it in GTA 5. I thought it worked. I liked all 3 characters equally. I thought they were all very interesting in their own stories, and I liked it bouncing back and forth.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
This game just
I
comes
don't-
across as something that wants to be like a single story.
I think we can trust that it will be that way too. I just get that feeling.
And we would have definitely heard of more characters that we'd be controlling by now. If that was the case.
So you are in fact a senior member of Dutch's gang.
Ooh,
One of the big dogs.
head honchos.
Included in this game is Bill Williamson from the original Red Dead Redemption. I shouldn't say original, but the previous Red Dead game.
Oh,
So in the trailer, we saw snippets of John Marston, who I think they're calling Scars in this game, which is pretty cool. I'd like to think of him as like a younger chap. He looks up,
young.
looks up to Arthur in this game, and of course, we all know John Marston's legacy in the follow-up to
Well,
the
it's not.
story.
It's like 11 years before, so it's not.
Yeah, so he's not much younger, but obviously he probably sees some shit leading up to Red Dead Redemption and the journey he goes on. So, man, I really want to dabble in that again before the new one comes out, but
Do you have the 360 game?
not anymore.
Still?
Not anymore.
I know. With the Xbox One, you can play it.
The year is 1899. I know the original is like 1911. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, 1910 or 11.
You primarily the game kind of functions around Dutch's camp, where there's a living community, all of which, I mean, the whole world is like this, but the community also all are based on schedules around the world. So obviously they were talking about in the demo, much of the game is, much of the most impressive aspects of it were just the immersive, living, breathing world is as old as a description as that is nowadays in an open world. I think Rockstar's games always live up to that description. And how they talked about, this thing, they've claimed this in previous games too, where you can just follow someone all day through the routine, like a shopkeeper or something. He'll wake up in the morning, he'll go open his shop, and he'll stand there all day, and then he'll go home and the day's over. Just stuff like that, I think, is so cool.
Yeah.
And same thing with the camp. How people with you being a senior member expect you to kind of be one of the upkeepers as far as hunting and gathering for the people and doing certain tasks for people. And if you don't do them for extended periods of time, they'll complain about it and stuff, which is kind of cool. But they also express that's not mandatory, but as part of the game world, people expect you to kind of be involved. Arthur plays an important role in the upkeep of the camp. We said that people react differently to your appearance, weapons, bounties, etc., which I thought was cool. Yeah. Like if you walk into town or a camp and your weapon's drawn, people be a little weary. Like, why is your weapon drawn, bro?
Yeah. Maybe there's a bounty on your head. There's like people shouting at you, maybe.
Yeah, and if you waltz into camp and there's like a dead body from a bounty you've hunted on the back of your horse, people will be a little weird about it too.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty cool. Depending on how you dress Arthur as well will affect people. Like if you have your little bandana up and look like a bandit, I'm sure people will be weirded out by it.
No trouble.
That's what I've always liked about games where people react to your appearance. I know that was part of... I can't remember if this is an Assassin's Creed 2 or not, but there's been games in the past, but open world games especially, where if you have blood on yourself, if you're covered in blood or something, people will be weird about it. What was a game we played just recently that was like that?
Yeah, I feel like I've played a game recently where people like were scared of me in a game. Maybe it was Zelda. Yeah, it was Zelda when I was wearing the one of those evil looking costumes.
There's something else we just played recently where if you walk into town and you're oh no, it's Kingdom Come is what I'm thinking. Yeah, react to your appearance, because I love stuff like that.
I think it's like the dark Ganon armor. I don't know. Has like the helmet has horns.
Yeah.
And I think you wear a cape.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the Phantom Ganon.
Yeah. People like cower when you walk up to him.
I think the hunting sounds cool too. Sounds more realistic than ever, where they said there's this one part where he draws a bow and shoots a deer in the leg and it just freaks out and squealing and just runs into the woods and it eventually collapses and he walks up to it and it's still like walloping on the ground trying to get up and it's whining and he just stabs it, and they said it was just like gut-wrenching the way he stabs it and kills it. So I like the realistic aspect there. And you can obviously pick up the carcass and put it on your horse, which we'll get to the horse in a second. I'm very excited about the aspect of the horse. But
better than Roach?
Oh, yeah. Oh. Light years beyond Roach. Roach is a good boy, but we've seen how Roach is and how he can be. I think that it's cool that your horse acts as your glorified knapsack, essentially, for your larger gear, like your larger weapons and your bounties and stuff. It isn't like it used to be where you can just carry 30 guns on your character and it's all just like invisible on your character. I think you can obviously carry a certain amount of weapons on your character, but the rest can go on your horse. So you can kill a deer and just stick the carcass in your horse. And what's even cool is that it'll decompose over time. So you can't just pick up a carcass and be like, all right, I'll go back to my camp in 8 hours and just return it. You have to return it in a reasonable amount of time before it decomposes and just rots. And you have little knapsacks too. Say you kill a couple rabbits. If you put them in the satchels of your horse, they'll last a little longer in the satchels. Yeah. Which I also think is interesting.
Do they take up like space that other things could be?
I think so, yeah. That's what I love about this, how real it feels. Like, oh, I can either pick up this dead deer or I can put this other guy, this bounty I've captured.
Medicine I found or something.
I'm taking this guy alive. I've tied him up on my horse. I can put him on my horse and take him back to town, or I can take this deer and feed my camp. That was also cool that depending on how you hunt and gather, which this isn't totally new, but the way you go about doing it is sort of new, where the condition of the animal when you return it either earns you more money or can feed people differently. Like you can go up to a rabbit and very slowly skin it, or you can pick up the dead rabbit and just take it with fur and all back to the camp, or you can just rip its skin off. And they said it's very graphic and brutal. And take that back to your camp. Of course, if you shoot animals, you get less money for them when you turn them in. So the horse in particular, says the relationship with your horse, they paid a lot of attention to, like grooming it and feeding it and calming it. Of course, it grows closer to you and starts to trust you more, especially in firefights. If a firefight breaks out, it's not going to just bail on you. So it'll start to trust you more. It carries your supplies, and you can only whistle for it at certain distances, which I also like. Isn't that like in Kingdom Come, where if you're like miles away from your horse, it can't hear you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that a lot as well. You can't just, all right, horse.
Well, hang on. No. In Kingdom Come,
it's not like that.
It's not like that. Zelda's like that.
Okay, that's what it is. Yeah, I love that. And in games where your horse, if it's too far away, it can't hear you, which I think is cool. And if it dies, you have to start all the way over, which is interesting. If your horse dies, you have to start that relationship over with a new horse, and different breeds of horses have different personalities, so you never know what you're going to deal with.
So if you don't get a horse you like, you just kill it and get a new one.
Yeah. That's what was so, I mean, it sounds terrible, but just like shooting horses in Red Dead was like, could be a tactical advantage if someone was chasing after you on a horse. If you just shoot their horse in the head and they'll go tumbling down and can't capture you. So to think that your horse has an even stronger bond with your character in this game is really cool to me. So, like we talked about, dead animals decay over time. The bank heist scene sounded cool, where Karen is in the gang as well, and they could either choose for her to go in as like the quote-unquote lost girl, where she's sort of a distraction, or the drunken harlot, where they go in. There's like different tactical advantages to that. And Arthur busts in, you all have your bandanas up. You can choose to like bring those up or down at will, which I think is cool. Pistol whips the bank teller and gets him to open the vault. And when he gets in there, you can either blow open the vaults with dynamite, or you can slowly crack them open if you have more time, which I'm sure if you blow them open, it probably damages some of the money, so you can only take certain amounts. They didn't really go into too much detail here, but I think it'd be cool if you can only carry as much as you can physically carry, rather than like, we're going to take millions of dollars out of here. It'll be 10 bags, but if you only carry 2 or 3, I think that'd be cool if you can only attach a certain amount to your horse. So
what's the money like in Red Dead? Is it like the money in GTA where it's just sitting on the ground?
I don't know yet. I'm not sure.
What about the original Red Dead? That was the money in that game.
I don't remember doing bank heist in the original Red Dead.
I just mean money in general. Was it physically in the world? Like
I think
GTA?
it just like
you kill a guy in GTA,
you
you see a little piece of money on the ground.
I think that's what it was like.
Okay. Yeah, in Red Dead originally.
That was my question.
When they leave, he says they do Deadeye, like from original Red Dead, and he said it was very similar. They didn't really see anything new. We might hear more about Deadeye in particular if they've evolved it at all when they actually reveal the gameplay, but they said as far as just from the outside looking in, it looked relatively the same.
So what is Deadeye?
Deadeye is where you can slow down time, and you can mark enemies with a mark with a certain amount of marks, and you just you let go of Deadeye, and
so it's kind of like McCree's Ultimate in Overwatch.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is, and it's very, very satisfying too. If you have one guy and like this one pistol had like 15 rounds in it, right, and just like 15 marks on its head, just like just like so much blood you can't even imagine. It's just like a cloud of blood. And
dude, that is back to Max Payne 3. Dude, they do that so well in that game. Every time you finish off the final enemy, it goes into slow motion around that enemy, and you can fire as many times as you want to, and you actually see the bullet holes, and
you almost feel the weight of the characters because their physics are so advanced.
Like if you shoot somebody in the head in that game, it shows the entry and exit point. Like it's brutal, gaping. Yeah, it's awesome, crazy.
That's what I've liked about Red Dead games. I know some people are weird about the violence and stuff, but they're realistic weight of their physics and like the Rockstar's bullet holes and stuff.
And physics engine is always so cool with the characters.
I've always loved that. This is cool too. When they were escaping in the scene, this isn't a scripted moment. His hat got shot off because a bullet whizzed past his head and shot off his hat. And he said it's not going to just reappear on your head later in the game. You'd have to physically go back and get your bullet hole hat if you want it, or you can just buy a new one. I think that's really awesome.
That is awesome.
So I think it'd be cool too if they shot like a satchel on your horse and your satchel just fell off. You have like a dead rabbit in there. That's like money you've lost. I think that'd be cool. I also think it'd be cool, like, in Red Dead originally, if your horse got shot in the ass 50 times and it didn't die, I think it just healed over time. I think it'd be cool if your horse got shot, you have to like actually heal your horse. I think I read that somewhere else when they were talking about it. You have to actually take care of your horse in that sense as well. That was really cool. And Rockstar actually, in terms of the story and the setting, obviously it's a prequel, but they said that they describe it more as a companion piece to Red Dead Redemption rather than just a full-on prequel. Of course, by definition, it is a prequel, but they want people to think of it more as a companion piece and more like a continuation of that greater narrative.
That'd be interesting if the narrative goes past Red Dead.
Yeah, what if it like rolls into it and beyond?
Yeah, I think that'd be
like, what if Arthur's around during John Marston's time?
Yeah.
What if you team up with his son at some point?
That would be cool.
That'd be pretty rad.
That would be cool.
Guess we'll find out. Because they said, this is right at the cusp of when the Wild West was dying. And people are like, well, I thought that's what Red Dead Redemption was about.
Yeah.
But maybe, like you said, maybe it goes beyond that. I'd really like to see that. That'd be cool. They said multiplayer will return, promising to create a brand new open world multiplayer experience, but they didn't go into any more detail beyond that. So that's just some of the open world immersive aspects they talked about, which I thought were really interesting. Like we said, trailer was cool. I'm very, very excited to see more from from Red Dead. I know I'm gonna lose my mind right before this comes out because just hearing little details like this, that's what I love about Rockstar games, or little things like that.
Yeah.
So I cannot wait. It does bum me out it's not coming to PC initially. I mean, of course, they said even on a base model PS4 it looked gorgeous. So of course on Pro it'll look outstanding. Yeah. I'm sure even on Xbox One X it's going to look amazing too.
The frame rate.
Yeah.
Granted, God of War, once you're used to it, it's
great.
It's great. It's fine. So it's not too big of a deal.
So yeah, I'm head over heels excited to hear more. And we have Spider-Man, of course, coming shortly before that.
Yep.
It's going to be a wonderful fall, just like last year. Jam-packed fall, but wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
So very, very excited. That's it for Newsboys. Want to jump into community questions?
Questions.
Let's do it. How much time do I have?
Not a lot.
I have 10 minutes. Some of these we can answer pretty quickly, not to blow anyone off, but we can answer them pretty quickly, but still get through them.
If we answer your question in less than a sentence, F you.
That's very disrespectful.
Yeah.
Community questions. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for taking time out of your days to send us questions each and every week to fuel the latter half of this podcast discussion every week. It's always exciting. We never know what we're going to expect. Ask IOG. You can probably count on Ask IOG this summer a lot because I won't be nearly as busy. Of course, I say that, and I might be interning with another company this summer, so maybe I will be. I don't know. We'll see. But if you want to reach us to have your questions read on this show or Ask IOG in the very near future, you can reach us in one of three places. You can email us at ItsObviousGaming@gmail.com. You can tweet at us at @obvious_gaming, or submit your questions in the Ask IOG section of our Discord channel. All that info can be found in every single description of our YouTube videos, or on any podcasting service you're using. It is found there as well. You can just follow that link and it'll take you right there. But always use the hashtag AskIOG. That's ASK_IOG, or Ask EOG, as we'd like to say, if you want your question read publicly on either show. All that out of the way, let's get to number one. It comes from Renegade413. He or she says, "Hello friends, I am a huge fan of Sea of Thieves, Fortnite PvE, and Paragon, rest in peace. I don't like Overwatch, Rainbow Six, or Battle Royale games. My question for you is, have you ever liked a game that was shit, or have you ever not liked a game that everyone seems to love? And what was that like for you?"
Yeah, I've liked a game that was shit.
Defiance?
Technomancer.
Yeah, Technomancer.
It's my favorite shitty game.
I don't know if I've ever liked a shit game. It's hard to remember.
There are those out there that would say Hunt Showdown's a shit game, but I love it. 20 FPS, the game.
There have been plenty of games that I don't like that other people
I'm
like.
not totally into Fortnite Battle Royale, and that's not because I think it's bad or unoriginal in any sense. It like we've discussed in recent weeks, it has evolved into its own beast. It's totally its own thing now. Just for some reason, I can't bring myself to play it. I don't know why. Maybe I'd love it if I played it more, but I don't play it, so.
Yeah. I don't really like playing BRs either. I mean, you didn't say you didn't like playing them, but
yeah,
it's not really my thing, and millions of people love playing those.
Yeah, same here.
Anything else?
Plenty I could go on, but we don't have a lot of time.
There's no reason I really like getting those shit. Yeah, I think that's all I got for now. I hate to say it.
You gonna look around the room?
No,
I think that's it.
Thank you for your question, Renegade. Oh, the Massacre says, "I've been busy with work the past few weeks and I've wanted to ask this question, but I've forgotten to. With E3 around the corner, what Smash Bros. Character do you think will return? 3 characters is fine from each of you. Also, if you had to put one new character from any game, regardless of licensing or being exclusive to a console, what would that character be? Good vibes and have an organic day." We actually did this exact question when that trailer was revealed. I can't remember what we said.
Mario, Link, and Yoshi are for sure going to be back. For sure.
The problem, like most of the characters that are in always return. It's just there's a few that don't.
I hope everybody returns from the Wii U version.
Yeah.
Like Cloud,
Mega Man,
Bayonetta, all of them. I hope they all return.
Who do I want? I mean, the easy answer is Goku, but
so everybody says.
I know.
That would be dope.
Something that everyone doesn't say.
The Doom Slayer.
That'd be cool. Doom guy versus Samus.
Just shotgunning Mario in the face. Ripping Mario in half like he does to the demons. I told you I'm not an idea guy. I have no idea. Other than like Goku and the Doomslayer, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. Pretty much every Nintendo character is already in Smash Brothers, so I can't even think of one that would realistically get in there. I guess from anything ever, I'd agree with Goku because I think that would just be so cool.
Maybe someone from My Hero. Be kind of cool.
I don't know.
That's all I got. I think Ratchet and Clank could be a cool character and characters in Smash Bros. With their wacky weapons and stuff and the way they use teamwork.
We just need another PlayStation Battle Royale game, whatever it was called.
PlayStation All Stars.
Yeah,
I think could be fun.
Yeah.
Now, especially with new God of War or new Kratos, Ratchet and Clank, and maybe Joel and Ellie as a team. Can you imagine that?
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So I think I have fun with that.
Yeah.
Andreas123 says, I haven't proofread any of these, so I hope they're all appropriate. He says, good day, boyos. Here's a creative question for you guys. You own a company that wants in on the console wars, but what makes your console stand out? What features, specs, game companies do you try to acquire for exclusives? Have a great day and get some sleep, Garrett. I do need sleep. We're just going to build PCs.
I would basically make a console that's basically a PC, and then you could buy different parts to upgrade it.
I would make a console that, I mean, of course, everyone wants great specs, but I'd want to acquire all the best first-party developers I could.
So you just would steal all of Sony's?
Exactly.
I'd take Sony and Nintendo's dudes and just smush them together.
I'd want to bring in 343, and maybe even I'd want to acquire Bungie as well and make them make good Halo games again. Force them. Like, this is exactly what you're going to do.
This is what you're doing.
Yeah. So, yeah. All of Sony's, of course, most of which we'll see how Bend winds up doing.
What about the Dream Studio?
Media Molecule?
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Fine. That's going to probably have a really passionate niche audience when it comes out.
I think the concept of that game is extremely cool.
It is very cool. Yeah. We'll see how it plays out for him.
Is that funny, Garrett?
Yeah. I was thinking of Cotton and Jason Bateman from Dodgeball.
Oh.
So, yeah, all of Sony's spec wise, of course, we're going to go with an 8K console here, the way they shoot movies nowadays for all those fancy visual effects.
Wow.
I have an 8K console. It's going to have a 50 terabyte hard drive.
8K, that's cinematic 24 FPS.
Exactly.
Gameplay.
Yeah.
How much would 50 terabytes cost?
Man. I don't know. We're gonna be the stupidest company ever, where we sell it for like $300. Yeah, we'll instantly go bankrupt.
We're at a huge profit loss. Hopefully, we can make up for it with software sales.
Yeah, exactly.
We need to sell
our
30 million.
Hopefully, all these studios that we sell.
Our studios games are going to be so awesome that it's going to make up for all the.
We need to sell 300 million copies of The Last of Us 4 to make up for our hardware sales.
Absolutely.
Yep.
We're also going to reboot a lot of PlayStation classics that have fizzled out.
Like Thief.
Thief's going to be our flagship title, of course.
That's what Sony should have bought up.
Thief will be exclusive to our console. It's going to be called the Fuck You console. It's going to just have everything better than everyone else. We got to think of a more clever name, though. That's the working code name, so no one actually knows the name. Now consoles have a code name.
Yeah.
Like,
whoa, I'm insulted.
Like
I'm
the GameCube Revolution was a code name. Trying to figure out what this is. Right?
What?
Wasn't that a code name at one point?
The what'd you say?
The GameCube Revolution.
It was just the Revolution.
That's what it was.
That was for Wii. The GameCube prototype name was the Dolphin.
Yeah.
Or no. It was oh no, don't do this to me.
Boy, wasn't the Wii a revolution?
What would we call our machine? Realistically, what would we call it?
I don't know, man. I don't know anything.
You know, we have PlayStation, we have Xbox, we have Nintendo Switch. What if we called it?
Don't do it.
Yeah, it was Project Dolphin. I was correct.
What would you name a console? First thing off the top of your head, for real. That's 8K, 50 terabytes.
I don't know. The Pew Box.
The Pew Box?
Yeah.
Almost sounds like the Pube Box.
That's what I want.
How about we call it the Jacob Alka, because Jacob's beefy and beautiful, and it's exactly what that machine would be.
Okay.
That's not what a machine
I'm all for that.
does.
Well, it's how it performs and looks.
If you design it that way.
Yeah. Thank you for your question, right, Andreas. Get a little more time. Odd Thomas says, hello, humans. Hello, humans. I've been listening to your guys' podcast for months now, and I've noticed Preston's recent addiction to Splinter Cell. I too am a Splinter Cell or Splinter Cellaholic. On that note, what is the group's take on the rumors of the new Splinter Cell, such as story arc and gameplay? Personally, I want a Granddad Sam to come back and kick some ass, but it'd be cool to see him in a more supervisory role like Lambert was to Sam in earlier games with a new protagonist. Gameplay-wise, I'd imagine Ubisoft would capitalize on the success they have had with open-world games such as Far Cry and Assassin's Creed. An open-world Splinter Cell game with chaos theory / double agent mechanics, where you'd be inserted into an area and have to create your own actual Splinter Cell of insurgents and whatnot. Similar to the way Assassin's Creed Brotherhood let you recruit new assassins. Anyways, that's my spiel. Keep the organic vibes, boys. I like that idea.
I like that idea as well. I think I would rather either have that idea or I'd like just a full reboot, a full series reboot. And I have a slight suspicion that might be what they're doing. I know the game listing that was on, granted it's this I could be looking way too much into this, but the listing on Amazon that was about a month ago said just Splinter Cell 2018. And I would very much love for the game to just be, I know we say that all the time. I just wanted to be Splinter Cell, and I'd love a complete reboot of the series.
Now, when you say reboot, do you mean in terms of gameplay or story? What about characters? You want Sam Fisher there?
Oh yeah, of course. Sam Fisher has to be attached to Splinter Cell, otherwise it's not a Splinter Cell.
Otherwise,
game.
just the secret agent game.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I very much would be fine with Sam taking over Lambert's role and you being another agent on the field.
That voice, really.
Yeah, just talking you through stuff. I'd be fine with that. I'd be fine with just a continuation. I really hope they make him older in the next one. I would love it for him. That's the thing, is he's so old. Even in the original Splinter Cell, he's old, and it's just he's really just so old. So yeah, I would think he would either take the Lambert role or just a reboot. Otherwise, I'm just like, man, this guy's like freaking 90-year-old man.
Smith, he just never ages.
Yeah,
he just stays an old man forever.
Especially now, if you look what he looked like in Conviction, then the Blacklist, and then what he looks like in Ghost Recon. Yeah, like, what is up with this guy's timeline? Yeah. So, but dude, nonetheless, I am so beyond pumped just to see a new Splinter Cell. Like I said, I'm playing through them all again, and I just love those games so much. So,
what if they break your heart and don't announce one?
I think they will.
They are.
What if they don't, though? Will you be okay?
If they don't, I'll be a little bummed.
You've been playing all these Splinter Cell games.
I'm so confident in the fact that they will that I'm not even worried about it.
Yep.
Okay. I'm not worried either.
I'm glad to hear it.
I also don't care, Preston.
You should care.
I don't. Not even a little bit.
Have you ever played a Splinter Cell?
I have not.
Jacob's got Overwatch to play, man.
It's like saying you don't like a vegetable that you never had. That's what it's like for me.
All right. Next question.
Thanks for sharing. Big finale from Handsome Jack, who submitted his question in the character of Handsome Jack, but I had to cut it down because it was very lengthy, and I enjoyed the read. Very lengthy. I thoroughly enjoyed the read. Just so you know, Handsome Jack. But for the sake of the podcast, I had to whittle it down to the actual question.
Gotcha.
He says, got this game called Persona 5 on the Pandora Station 4, and I got to say, holy hell, the soundtrack blew me away. Best shit I've heard in a long time. So I just got to ask the three of you, what game has your absolute #1 favorite soundtrack? Or I guess what we can say second favorite. Borderlands is naturally the first, no question about it.
False.
Right now, mine is Doom from Mick Gordon.
Doom's freaking awesome.
Prior to that was Stuart Chatwood's Assassin's Creed. Not Assassin's Creed. What am I saying? Prince of Persia: Warrior Within. That was my second favorite soundtrack. Of course, the theme here is that they're all metal influenced, especially Doom. But even Mick Gordon's work on Lawbreakers, he did a tune for Lawbreakers and Wolfenstein 2 in particular. I think he did Wolfenstein 1 as well, but Wolfenstein 2 was a little more rockish. Love me some rock and roll and heavy metal, especially in my video games. So Mick Gordon's my favorite video game composer at the moment.
Yeah, Doom has a fantastic soundtrack. Prey has a really awesome soundtrack. I think a lot of people have slept on that soundtrack.
Yeah, I didn't play it obviously, but I actually listened to it on YouTube.
Yeah,
while I was just driving around, because I just from what I played in the beta that came out, or demo, or whatever it was prior to the game's release, I thought was awesome.
Yeah, that's a fantastic soundtrack. Near Automata, I actually booted that game up a few days ago and just ran around and just fought some people just listening to that soundtrack, because I just had a weird feeling of, or not a weird feeling, I just had a calling to listen to that soundtrack, so I thought I'd just play through it a little bit. And yeah, that's a fantastic soundtrack. God of War, man,
It's beautiful.
That score
from
just
Bear McCreary
in that game, holy crap, so epic.
Yep.
Man, just the way they implement those 3 notes and just
throughout the whole game,
and those big moments, it's just so awesome. Especially the piece that plays at the end is, oh my gosh,
breathtaking,
freaking gorgeous.
It's perfect. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I've gone back to watch the ending just to see that scene again.
It's so epic.
That's the thing, is there are a ton of games over time that I've loved the soundtracks to.
My favorite is Witcher 3.
Yeah,
that's a great
Witcher
one.
3 is good.
I go back and listen to that.
I got a physical release of it, I'm pretty sure. Didn't we all get like a CD of it?
The soundtrack came with a physical copy we got, and then the note from CD Projekt Red.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, this is so cool and hilarious. Quick little side story. It's so funny how I go to an art school and most people I talk to don't play video games. I'm like, who are you people? What do you do with your time? I mean, we're so attuned with video game news and just playing all the time that I'm blown away when I meet people, especially at an art school, that just never play video games. Especially they're like, I want to do game design. I'm like, what kind of games are you into? He's like, well, I don't play them a whole lot. I'm just interested in it. And I was like, what? So there's people blowing my mind. It's like annoying me to this point.
Dude, I want to be a painter. I don't really paint, but
yeah, I kind of want to try it.
Yeah.
Those people always fascinate me.
Well, that's not a good example.
There are people like that out there. Anyway, when I say that, I'm surprised by people I meet that actually play video games. There's this barista at the Starbucks I go to every single day. I'm in Atlanta. I go there sometimes twice a day because I just, without coffee, I'm like dead on the ground. But I go in there and there's this Ukrainian barista there who I will like say hello to each other.
You go inside? Like is it a drive-through?
Yeah, I go inside the Starbucks because it's across the street from Smith's.
Oh, nice.
So I pop in there and we obviously would just say like hello and goodbye every time I walk in there. But I also work with a Ukrainian guy at Smith's who is hilarious. He has a huge personality and he's taught me a few words in Ukrainian and Ukrainian and Russian like I talked about. Anyway, so we go in there and he was telling me how he talks to her in Ukrainian or whatever language they speak. I can't remember what it is, fluently when he goes in there just for fun because they're the only 2 people in town that are like that. Yeah. But we go in there and they're talking to each other and somehow he and I got on the topic of video games and he asked about E3. He's like, oh, what about E3? I'm like, oh, I'm actually, I went last year. I get to go again this year for this company I'm working for. He's like, oh, no way. And the Ukrainian lady, who's like an old lady, she's like, you're going to E3? I'm like, yeah. And she goes, oh my gosh. She was telling me what kind of game she's in. She's like, what are you excited to see this year? I was like, of course I said like, what did I say? Last of Us and a bunch of PlayStation stuff. I told her I was also interested in seeing Metro because when I talked to him about Metro, he freaked out. And of course, she's excited for Metro, but she goes like, I can't wait to see Cyberpunk. I'm like, me too. And she goes, she's like, obviously it's still technically speculation is going to be shown, but I think everyone's more than expecting it to be there
with the RPG.
Yeah, it's confirmed that CD Projekt Red's still in an RPG.
So I asked him,
it's
like,
new like phone turn-based game or something.
Yeah. But I asked him like, well, did you play The Witcher 3? And she like freaked out when I mentioned The Witcher 3. And we started talking about Witcher 3. And then she gave me my coffee when I left. And he's like, yeah, that's so fun. My Ukrainian buddy from Smith was like, it's so funny she plays video games. I'm like, and she has good taste in video games, which is even better. So it's just a funny little encounter I had that, like, of all people you meet, you're always surprised at who does and who doesn't play video games. So
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Anyway.
Awesome.
I could go on for hours about soundtracks, but favorite at the moment is Doom from 2016. I hope Mick.
Oh, and I know we didn't even Persona 5.
Oh yeah. When you mentioned Persona 5,
fantastic soundtrack,
incredible.
That's great.
I still listen to Life Will Change often. I've used it in like 3 school projects since then.
Nice. Nice. Well, I think that'll do it, guys.
It will.
For the old It's Obvious podcast. Thanks for joining us. Please leave us a review on the Apple podcasting service. If you're just taking a poop, you're waiting for a bus, you're waiting for your sister at gymnastics practice or anything where you're just sitting there staring at your phone, just hop on the Apple podcast app, leave us a review. That helps us out tremendously. And while you're at it,
you want to check those, Jacob?
So we have 0 reviews this week.
Dang it.
Wow.
You guys have failed us.
It's because our content is very
dried up
at the moment. It's been I count it's been podcasts for like exclusively for like 12 weeks in a row. I've been through an entire school quarter and a half which is like 15 weeks without doing any Let's Play content. And that's not because we don't want to. We're just so terribly busy. Now I have 3 weeks left of school. Once I get through that, like I said, I have a whole summer off of school. A lot more time to contribute to actual content for this YouTube channel.
Well, to be prepared for that, subscribe to us over at youtube.com/ItsObviousGaming to watch all of our content. Go back in time and watch some of our previous content. We have a lot of cool Let's Plays. Resident Evil 7 VR Let's Play is one of my favorites. Some cool Destiny raid videos as well that are really funny. So check those out if you would.
I know it's late. We'll be very late to the party at this point, but I still think we can produce a hilarious video from Far Cry 5.
Yeah.
Like so funny.
I agree.
So we should still do that at some point.
But yeah, I think that'll, like I said, do it for this week. Thank you to everybody that has reviewed or subscribed and continues to listen to us. We appreciate that very much. We would not be here without you. And we appreciate your continued support.
Amen, brother. I second the notion.
Awesome. Yes, we'll see you guys next week.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
See ya.